You step outside on a Sunday morning, coffee in hand, the air is fresh, the garden looks quiet. And then you glance left, his lawn dark, thick, almost blue-green in the light. You look down at yours, pale, thin, a few bare patches where the grass just gave up. You've fed it, you've watered it, you've mowed it every week without fail, and still, that difference is there, like it's always been there. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The gap between your lawn and your neighbor's has almost nothing to do with effort. It has everything to do with what's happening underground. And once you understand that, everything changes. Part 1. The color problem and why feeding alone won't fix it. Most people see a pale lawn and reach straight for a fertilizer bag. That makes sense. Nitrogen turns grass green. Everyone knows that. But here's what most people don't know. Nitrogen isn't the only thing driving that deep, dark color. Iron is. Iron is what gives premium turf that rich, almost dark green you see on golf courses and on your neighbor's lawn. Grass needs iron to produce chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is what gives grass its color. Without enough available iron, your lawn stays pale no matter how much nitrogen you apply. You'll feed it. It'll grow, but it won't darken. So why isn't your soil giving your grass enough iron? The answer in most gardens is soil pH. If your soil is too alkaline, iron gets locked inside the soil. It's physically there, but your grass can't access it. Think of it like a locked door. The iron is on the other side, but the wrong pH means your grass never gets the key. The fix has two parts. First, apply a liquid iron supplement directly to the lawn. Because it goes straight onto the leaf surface, your grass absorbs it immediately. You can see a visible color change within 48 hours. Second, get a soil pH test, available cheaply from any garden center. Your lawn wants a pH between 6 and 7. That's the window where nutrients, including iron, become fully available to the roots. If your soil is sitting above 7, the iron fix is only temporary until you correct the pH itself. But even just the liquid iron application will show you results faster than almost anything else you can do this weekend. Part 2. The mowing mistake that's thinning your lawn from the inside out. Here's something that will change how you look at your mower. Most people cut their grass too short. It feels tidy, it looks neat straight after, and you don't have to mow again for another week. But what's actually happening beneath the surface is the opposite of what you want. Grass blades are essentially solar panels. They capture sunlight and convert it into energy that feeds the roots, drives growth, and keeps the lawn thick and dense. Cut those blades too short, and you've removed the lawn's ability to feed itself. The roots weaken, the turf thins, and gaps appear exactly where weeds and moss will move in next. The RHS recommends keeping a standard domestic lawn at around 40 mm during spring and early summer. That's roughly 1.5 inches. Most people are cutting at half that. There's another part of this that almost nobody thinks about: your mower blade. A blunt blade doesn't cut grass, it tears it. That browning across the top of your lawn, the one that appears after every mow, isn't the grass dying. It's your blade ripping instead of cutting. Sharpen the blade. Raise the cutting height. 2 changes, 1 afternoon. Your lawn will look different within a week. Part 3. The hidden problem underneath, and why your lawn can't breathe. This is the part most people never hear about. Over time, through winter rainfall, through foot traffic, through years of mowing on wet ground, the soil beneath your lawn gets pressed tighter and tighter together. The pore spaces close up. And those spaces matter more than most people realize. Grass roots need 3 things to grow deep and strong: water, nutrients, and air. Compacted soil blocks all 3. Water can't soak in properly. It sits on the surface and runs off. Nutrients can't reach the roots, and roots, unable to push through compressed soil, stay shallow and weak. This is why some lawns seem to reject everything you throw at them. It's not the feed. It's not the seed. The soil itself has become a barrier. There's a simple test you can do right now. Push a screwdriver into your lawn. On healthy soil, it should slide in easily, 8 to 10 centimeters, with minimal effort. If you're struggling to get past 3 or 4 centimeters, your soil is compacted. The fix is aeration. Small holes across the surface with a hollow tine aerator or a garden fork on smaller areas Give the soil room to open back up. Air gets in. Water gets in. Roots start to push deeper, and everything else you're already doing, the feed, the iron, the watering, suddenly starts working the way it should. The best time is spring or autumn, when the grass is actively growing and can recover quickly. Part 4. What your neighbor is probably doing that you're not. Your neighbor probably isn't a lawn care expert. They're not testing their soil or reading technical guides. But there's a very good chance they're doing one simple thing consistently that you're not: deep watering. Most people water their lawn a little often, a quick sprinkle in the evening after work. Every couple of days, it feels like the right thing to do, but shallow, frequent watering trains roots to stay close to the surface, and shallow roots are vulnerable roots. The first warm, dry spell of the year, and the lawn starts to struggle. Deep, infrequent watering does the opposite. Water thoroughly once or twice a week, long enough that moisture reaches 10 to 15 centimeters into the soil. That's where strong, healthy roots grow, and strong roots mean a lawn that stays green through dry spells, resists disease, and looks thick even when conditions get tough. The best time to water is early morning, before the sun gets high enough to evaporate it, and early enough that the grass dries before evening. Now, one more thing. You've heard about iron and pH, about mowing height and compaction, about deep watering. These are the things separating a struggling lawn from a great one, and none of them are expensive or complicated. But there's something else underneath your lawn right now, something you can't see from the surface, that could be quietly undoing all of this. And in the next video, that's exactly what we're going to look at. Because if your lawn has ever had patches that just won't recover, no matter what you do, this will explain why. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and drop a comment below. Tell me what your lawn looks like right now, because the next few videos are going to fix that.